Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have my platinum review of this game and my roadmap to platinum guide for this game as well too. Dead or Alive Venus Vacation Extreme, Prism, whatever you want to call it at this point. Man, I've been recording this multiple times, so I'm just going to get straight into the review for this game, guys. Alrighty, so I'm going to set some real expectations here, guys. I'm going to state it off right off the bat. This is probably a 4 out of 10. That is extremely harsh coming from me, below average. I love the Extreme franchise a lot because it's just fun, just fun, random crap. There is no mini games in here because once again, this is a visual light novel game, and even then, the light novel portion of the game where it's about romance, it's really not great. And the reason I'm like hating myself right now is because I love this franchise quite a bit. And it hurts me to give it such a low score in my mind. Ultimately, like, yes, I love the characters, even though there's only 6 of them, and I know people are pretty mad that there could be other ones in this game as well too. It's still a big pill to swallow if this doesn't do well, because they might not do a second game of it. So ultimately, if you're a huge fan of this game and this game franchise, that's about the only people I can actually even recommend this to. The downsides to this game. I already talked about the light novel portion of it slightly. It's really not like super great. And there's 2 glaring issues in this game: the censored outfits and the load times. The outfits, I feel like they are definitely censored from the original advertisements, but there's also really not that many. There's multiple versions of the same outfits, but then there's like no variety. This is literally extreme. This is Venus Vacation, and we don't pull from any of those inspirations that they already have in the other games for outfits. It just seems so weird that they don't do that. Obviously, they do treasure this game, and I think some of the music pieces they have in this game are incredible. The visuals are what you expect from a Venus Vacation game or Extreme game. The girls have like such amazing models as well too. But are we really censoring this game that much? I once again, it's just a huge turnoff. And the other big issue I have with this game is the massive load times between saving and changing scenes on the PlayStation 5. I don't know if this is a PC problem, and I've only noticed it after the first playthrough of the game. I'm not sure what is happening to the system. There are certain points, like after you play for a certain point in time, where the game, like, it just takes like a whole 2 minutes to load into the next scene or save. It's just the weirdest thing that I don't know what is happening behind the actual like hardware itself. I'm like, I don't know what's going on because it's not the PS5 itself, because I see it loading like in literally 2 seconds in certain scenes. Then after a while, the game just struggles to even load the next scene over. I don't know what is happening. I really hope they do fix it, because that is a major issue, especially if you're trying to go for the platinum trophy for this game, because you're going to be grinding this game a lot. And most players that know Venus Vacation and Extreme should know, if you're going for those high-end stuff, you're going to be grinding a lot. And that is a perfect segue into our roadmap to platinum, guys. Here it is, the platinum trophy. So before we get into all the trophies, I'm just going to tell you guys right now, this is probably the trophy you're going to be looking out for completing, is Master Photography. Earn Boss Rank 15. This is the limiting trophy of the game, which you need to know. There is nothing missable in this game, quote unquote, because you can technically replay the game. But this is the trophy you're ultimately going to be ending up towards, and is essentially what we're all going to accumulate towards. And this is why I say, like, you can just do it into another playthrough, because to level up in this game, I know people have been speculating that there's other things that can increase, level ups. There's really nothing. The only thing I found to level you up is playing a playthrough. So you need to do a minimum of 15 playthroughs of this game in order to reach boss rank 15. And when I said, like, a playthrough takes 3 to 4 hours ish, once you have every single other trophy in the game, because you're going to be working towards that to get to this trophy, you're just going to speed run the game, because you just do not care. You just want this trophy at that point for the platinum. And ultimately, I do think you're gonna need a minimum of in order to get the other trophies, a minimum of 7 playthroughs. Then everything else past that is just cleanup. Then once you got all the cleanup, you want to get this trophy, then it's just the speed runs. So with that out of the way, let's get on to our first trophy, which is with everyone unlock the special ending of the game. So let's go into. We're also gonna tie this. Sorry, we're gonna tie this in with Master of Charts here. So Master of Charts is essentially earning every single scene in the game, which you're going to need to do for a lot of things anyways, and is mandatory in order to get with everyone, which is the special ending. So this is the chapter scenes. So in order to get when you play the game, I should say, there's going to be split paths. You're going to have to do whatever you got to do in order to get all the split paths in the game. So the only chapter that's going to require 7 playthroughs of the game in order to get all the scenes is chapter 9 over here. I'll just show it off real quick. This branching path over here does require 7 playthroughs of the game, as you can see here. So you will most likely get this on your 7th or 8th playthrough, depending on what you guys want to do, on how you want to play the game. But that's probably where at minimum you're going to be doing that. Then once you have every single scene in the game, guys, to get the special harem ending, when you get to the final chapter, chapter 18, the special harem ending is now available to you only once you complete every single scene in the game other than this scene right here. So there's some caveats to this, which we're going to have to talk about how to get the other endings for the girls. So there are 2 things you have to understand is Venus of Venus and the special bond endings. In chapter 17, to get the title of Venus of Venus, the girl needs a combined score of 30,000 fans in that playthrough itself, which is pretty simple. To get the ending for the girls, you need a 90% affinity with them on chapter 18, and that will give you their respective endings. If you want the trophy for the max affinity, which is required once again for the game, you need a 120% affinity with each girl. So physically, in your first runs of the game, you should be working towards a 120% affinity with each girl to boot. So you can get that trophy, which we'll show in a bit. But once again, this is the first trophy in the special harem ending one. So once you get every ending, every scene in the game, to get the special harem ending, you need to have all the girls roughly around the exact same affinity when you hit chapter 18. So when I did this, I had everyone roughly around 70% affinity. I know some people have been saying you're supposed to have like around 75%. I don't. Once again, it's unconfirmed right now because this is a really weird circumstance. You need every single scene other than the special ending scene. When you get to Venus of Venus, you can choose any girl. It doesn't matter. And when you get into this final chapter, you can choose any girl you want if you're at above 90%. If like in the case where I was, the girl will automatically be whoever chose your Venus of Venus was in the previous chapter. Once you have all the girls roughly exactly the same affinity at the end of this chapter, you will, instead of getting their special ending, which all the girls typically have if they're the highest one, you will instead get this one harem ending instead of that. So once again, the requirements for this are you have to unlock every scene in the game. All the girls are roughly around the exact same affinity when you get to the end of chapter 18. So with that said, that is the special ending trophy there. Oh, let's get back to the trophy list here, folks. All right. Okay, so let's move on. Beloved Boss raised every girl's affinity to 120%. Like I said, there's that. Master of Charts unlocked all charts. Play all mini games. So this one is a little bit weird. You might not understand this, but once again, when you unlock every single scene in this game, you will get this as well too. So there's going to be a little bit of a delay if you choose to do 2 releases at the same on different opposite playthroughs. Elise is this technically only counts as one of them. So you're gonna, once again, when you're doing all of the charts anyways, Master of Charts, you're gonna get this mini game one when you unlock it as well too. So it's not that bad. And we'll get back to Miracle Shot in a bit, but these are all all these trophies right over here unlock special talks. This is once part of the text message system. And when you get to chapter 17 and to see the special ending, you'll get these as well too. This is going to be a grind. Getting 300,000. This is 300,000 cumulative fans. So this can be done in multiple playthroughs. I'm going to tell you right now, in chapter 10 through 16 to 17 are the chapters where it matters the most. If you really want fans, those are the chapters you actually care about on speedruns trying to get through this. The first 1 through 10 chapters in this game honestly do not give you that many fans. They're just, it's just like it ramps up towards the end. So realistically speaking, you're going to be doing multiple playthroughs. Once again, you're going to do 15 playthroughs of this game anyways, so you're going to get those with that. This is literally just submitting your first time. You're going to get this pretty easily. Once again, you're going to have to get all the girls to 120% affinity, so you're going to get the 80% pretty easily. Venus, once again, you're going to have to see all the scenes in the game, so you're going to get everybody's Venus MVP guaranteed here. And once again, because you're going to be submitting so many photos for the fans trophy, you're going to get these 100 photos pretty much with that as well too. So we're going to get to the most tricky trophy in this game. Not the most grand, the most tricky, because Miracle Shot is to get a photo with extremely high rating. This is getting a photo with a 120%, with a 120 score, I'm sorry. This one is a weird one because the game does not tell you how photos are rated. And even to this point, players are still trying to figure out what makes a photo better in most cases, because we don't know the actual grading system. As of this review, the developers added ability to see how highly rated your photos can be with stars, which is the requirements per chapter. They give you 3 requirements, and the more you get of those requirements in, the higher the photo can be rated. But I'm going to show you real quick where I've seen reported where I've done it and where other people have done this photo, because it's really not possible in a lot of chapters to even get this trophy. So let's go back to the chart here. So the first place you can get this trophy is actually in chapter 1. So we're gonna open it up real quick. When you do the photo shoot with Misaki over here, literally the first time it tells you how to do the mechanic, you can actually get 120. And this is one of the most consistent places I've been able to get the 120 rating photo as well too, because you meet all 3 requirements in this one shoot. The next instance I've seen of it is in chapter 3 over here. For this, you will need to take the Misaki split over here with Tamaki. When Tamaki and Misaki meet for the first time, you're going to want to take a photo of behind of Tamaki looking at Misaki. This is the second place I've seen it actually happen. Then the next one is in chapter 7. I've seen it possible here when you choose this route here with Misaki doing once again another solo debut, but instead of choosing cute, you have to choose sexy. Then that's what's another place I've seen it possible. Where I think the easiest one it is in chapter 11. With any of the girls, you can choose any path. When you go to the shower scene, over here, you can take a shot of the 2 girls, and that's also another way of getting it in my eyes. It's a pretty consistent one as well too. So I'm going to talk to you guys really about what we understand about the rating system. You get a higher score for more requirements done. If the girl is not looking at the camera for some reason, I don't understand that, they have to have a facial expression of either embarrassed or happy. 2 girls in the photos increases it as well too. And you have to get roughly most of the girl into the photo. Probably you can get maybe a little bit you can chop off a little bit from the top of their head, and you have to go at least down to at least her thighs or something like that. Once again, it's very ambiguous, and you have to have the girls sort of centered in the photo. Those are really the only requirements we can actually see for the rating section of that. Once again, it's a real crapshoot of how you're gonna do it. Is you just gotta do it at some point. But there you guys go. That is my roadmap to platinum and my review for this game. Until the next one, peace out.